going on, everybody? C4, welcome back to the channel, and today we're here for a new episode of our Madden Retro Rebuild series, where we start in the Madden 12 season, go a full decade, a full 10 seasons, up to current day Madden 23, and try to build a dynasty. Today, we are with the Vegas, but at that point in time, known as the Oakland Raiders. As you can see from the splash, very bad rating, 77 overall, one of the lowest overall teams. That's why I think they're so damn fun. Take a look at the squad. Offensively, we're going to go with, the youth over some of our guards here. Bruce Campbell, I remember, who's a classic Al Davis selection, just freak athlete, offensive lineman, going to put it all together. Still young enough in his career that I wasn't going to strip him of that star dev because the ceiling is incredibly high. He just wasn't ever able to put it all together. Because Wisniewski won a Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles. He was always fairly solid. I think his dad also played for the Raiders. Velda here is arguably the most valuable player on our offense. In terms of positional value and rating, and he's only 24. No options at tight end. I will get to that in just one sec. We have Marcel Reese, X-Factor fullback. For those who remember, man, Marcel Reese was maybe the best playmaker for the Raiders for like a minute, it felt like, especially when Darren McFadden, who when he was on the field was awesome, but he was often injured. Darren McFadden, one of my all-time favorite Madden running backs because he always had high speed and high trucking, which is always fun. So I'm sure this is going to be pretty awesome. Lot of speed at wide receiver with Jacoby Ford out of Clemson, track star. Got to remember, this is a team that Al Davis built. 98 speed for Jacoby Ford. We have Darius Heyward-Bey, who dominate here. 97 speed, 96 acceleration. Speed kills. Lewis Murphy out of Florida. I always liked him. Always thought he was underrated. He has 93 speed. It's just, and we got TJ Who's Your Mama. We got Chaz Shillings and Darius Moore. But what I want to do here is we got Chaz Shillings. Our current starting tight end's like a 66. Chaz Shillings, 6'4", 225, 93 speed, 94 acceleration. I'm just saying, why not at this point? It's either move Marcel Reese there, which, I mean, Marcel Reese was very much like more of a running back than he was like a use check fullback tight end hybrid. But he could do it all. But I feel like why not just move Chaz Shillings there? We will still have a use for Marcel Reese out of the backfield. And then we'll just kind of get more modernized. And we'll make Shillings, we'll pull a little bit of a Darren Waller, if you will. And we'll just see. Even if he just offers a little bit until we can draft a proper tight end, I'm fine. And the man under center was Carson Palmer. He had to pretty much retire from the Cincinnati Bengals to force a trade to the Raiders. He's a fine quarterback. Normal dev 3183. Probably at his ceiling right now. But he should be solid until we can eventually get a replacement at some point. Flipping to the defense. It's very much still a work in progress. Front four, we have Lamar Houston, who was like always like a weird fit because he was a 3-4 defensive end, but they ran a 4-3, so it is what it is. We got Richard Seymour, 88, Tommy Kelly, 84, the legend Jag, late in his career, John Henderson, 79 there, Matt Shaughnessy. It's a lot of work, a lot of Seymour's only going to regress at this point, unfortunately. So we need to get better there. The linebacking core looks solid. We have Cameron Whibley, who's like a hybrid pass rusher, traditional linebacker. And I looked at the Madden 12 ratings, and he had legitimately like 90+ finesse move, 90+ pursuit. Like if he was in an Ultimate Team was back and existing in Madden 12, Whibley would have been one of the more overpowered linebackers. We have Rolando, McClain, and Aaron Curry. This is after Aaron Curry got traded away from the Seahawks. He was drafted as a can't-miss, one-of-one type linebacker player. Did not work out with the Seahawks. So we're going to see if we can make him a little bit of a redemption here on our defense. Secondary is, we got some guys. No dev trades really outside of Tyvon Branch. But we got Huff there, Stanford Route, Johnson, Van Dyke. It's just a lot of speed again. Very much like the wide receivers. You could tell. Al Davis has his fingerprints all over his team. 97 speed for Chris Johnson. DeMarcus Van Dyke has 96 speed, 98 speed. You got Stanford Route. Brian McCain here at SMU, 96 speed. We got a lot of speed. We're working with a lot of speed on offense and defense. But this is the one team you always got to show love to the special teams, man. Shane Leckler, Sebastian Janikowski always held it down for the Raiders in some of these older Madden games. And hopefully, I mean, they're up there in age a little bit, but hopefully they can ride off the sunset, be here for a couple seasons up until retirement. So a lot of work here to do for today's squad. But a couple players I'm excited to play with for sure. I mean, the Raiders back in the day, before I was a YouTuber, they were almost always my go-to franchise mode because there was so much that had to be done with them. And they also had fun players with low ratings because the speed and all that stuff was always off the chart. So it's going to be fun. Little trip down memory lane for myself. And what we're going to try to do over the next 10 seasons is win multiple Super Bowls with the Oakland Raiders. Let's get into your number one. For our first range speed, I'll tell you right now, there's talent that I don't want to let leave, but I had to pay a little bit more than what I'd like. So we got Richard Seymour on a one-year deal. I got Marcel Reese. I got him to he's 30. I gave him a 4-year contract extension. I'm actually almost thinking about maybe he'd be more valuable to the offense if we do convert him to tight end and just, you know, he used to get like 40, 50 catches a year, which is nothing crazy. It's pretty much receiving back numbers, which is what he was. But maybe, I don't know. We're going to see where he's at when all is said and done with the sim. Maybe he gets his touches in the sim, and that'd be great. We got Tyvon Branch on a 5-year deal. We bring back Stanford Route on a 1-year deal. I got Matt Shaughnessy, just because there's some upside. There's only 24, so we got him on in a short-term deal just to see if he can continue to develop. I got Chaz Schillens again, just in case. Gives us an option there for, you know, obviously terrible blocking, but, you know, maybe the project of a Darren Waller before Darren Waller. I could take that gamble, given how much salary cap we have available. But again, like, that's just, you know, 18 mil, way too much money. Half that would have been ideal. Same for Shaughnessy, like a little bit more expensive. Stanford Route, a little bit more expensive than what I would like. It just is what it is. At the end of year one, I actually thought we were gonna make the playoffs. We finished 8-9, but this was one of those really weird seasons where we beat teams, like we beat the Chiefs, we beat all these strong teams historically, and I think we literally lost at one point to 2 one-win teams at different points late in the season. So kind of fitting for the Raiders, you know, just playing to the level of your competition, I think is a fair way to say it. Looking at our squad here, Carson Palmer did get a dev trade. Top 5 in passing yards, 31 touchdowns, a lot of interceptions, but he did go from normal up to a star dev, which is at least something at this stage in his career. Maybe it can help the regression even just slightly. Darren McFadden, 10 yards shy of 1,000. We'll look a lot better with 1,000. Did not really get Marcel Reese involved, so maybe we need to come back to the idea of him at tight end. However, Chaz Schillens in his first year converted from wide receiver to tight end, 84 catches, 900 yards, 7 touchdowns, really, you know, kind of taking the Darren Waller role and excelling. We had 9 and 6 for Louis Murphy, 1,010 Darius Heyward-Bey, 1,306 for Jacoby Ford. So like the unreal amount of speed we have at wide receiver and tight end is absolutely helping our team. Defensively, 115 tackles, Rolando, McClain, 10.5 sacks, Cameron Wimbley leading the team. Couple 9 bombs there, 7 sacks from Aaron Curry, which is good for him, given the fact of where his career went. He would definitely have taken this type of season in his first year with the Raiders. 3 picks, Michael Huff leading the squad, but there's just a lot we need to do, man. You know, the secondary needs to reshape. We got to get that Nnamdi Asomugha level replacement. MVP goes to Michael Vick. Quickly just seeing if there are any Oakland. I got to keep calling them. I'm going to try to refer to them as Oakland here in this video. No Oakland Raiders, but we did have a top 5 offense, and our quarterback was the lone player to go up dev trait. So there's a lot worse ways to start a 10-year rebuild with a terrible team than having your quarterback go up, having a top 5 passing offense, and nearly a top 5 passing defense. Well, light start to our free agency, bringing back 2 guys that I just knew as Raiders. Austin Howard, and we're going to convert him to our right tackle. He might actually start at right tackle. Kirk Morrison at linebacker. I did try and came with an aggressive bid to land Chris Harris, but he took the much lower offer to go to the New York Giants. What an asshole. So as you can see from our roster, a lot of spots we could really try to go at here. We can go right tackle if we don't want to kick Austin Howard there. Oh shit, Chaz Schillens went up to start dev. That's actually kind of awesome. I think our wide receivers, while at face value, no dev traits, 3 of them went over almost 1,000 yards. So I think we're good at wide receiver unless BPA is wide receiver. But more so, I think we need a pass rusher. Even though we re-signed Shaughnessy, it wasn't a whole lot of money. Could go corner as well. So I'm thinking pass rusher, corner, tackle, wide receiver, somewhere in that bubble. We're at the 12th pick of the 2012 draft. And what do we got? So wide receiver. First round, we would have to go Kendall Wright. No, thank you. Offensive tackle, we have Riley Reef or Mitchell Schwartz. Both those are fairly safe options. That would be it. Pass rusher, we have Quentin Couples, another bust. I'm not all about taking on a bust this early, but maybe we've got to. Bruce Irvin is actually kind of interesting. And he eventually got his way to the Raiders, right? After, obviously, he peaked with Seattle a little bit. I'm actually pretty interested by that. What do we got at corner? Drake Kirkpatrick, Jack Rabbit. So it's really, do we go Drake Kirkpatrick at corner? Or do we go out and go maybe, let's go Bruce Irvin. Just because he eventually was a Raider, and in case he dominates, I do have that for the thumbnail. I can get him in a Raiders jersey. And very much, we're going to do this and draft almost in honor of Al Davis. getting a pass rusher with 93 acceleration, 93 speed. Freak of nature. Coming back to the second round, the terrific board. If we go tackle, we have Mitchell Schwartz as the top tackle available. Or if we want to go back to corner, we have Trumaine Johnson, who's a legitimate first, second round talent. I think all things on the table right now, I think I want to go Mitchell Schwartz because he feels a little less overpowered having a tackle versus having a guy that could be superstar corner. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to build the trenches, and we're going to get Mitchell Schwartz, who is going to kick over to the right-hand side. Draft recap from our first draft. Obviously, very top-heavy. Bruce Irvin, Mitchell Schwartz, 2 hidden depth players. What's the base overall? 69 for Bruce Irvin, 68 for Mitchell Schwartz. I can work with that. The computer, how did they finish it out? We got Shea McClellan, Corey Toomer, Adam Geddes, Alfred Morris, 58. Does have the hidden depth, but that is really disrespectful for a guy that there was like a 4 or 5 year period where he shit out 1,000-yard seasons for the Commanders. But, okay, 3 hidden depth players, and we got 2 at big-time position of need, and they're most likely going to play and start and contribute as rookies. Free agency for year 2, pretty much just re-signed everybody. Shane Leckler, Jared Veldheer, Richard Seymour, Stanford Route on a 1-year, $15 million, which is just because how bad the corner market is in free agency. I mean, he's still going to be fine. Even if he regresses, he's still going to be an 80. Give me that for 1 more year. We got Jacoby Ford because he was our leading receiver last year. I think he's going to be prime for a dev trade sooner and later to match with that elite speed. And lastly, Bruce Campbell continuing a little bit of a career redemption for him. Man, he's starting to carve out a nice role as a decent guard. And at the end of year 2, 1 win difference from last year. Last year, year 1, 8-9. This year, 9-8. Good enough to make the playoffs as 3rd place in the AFC West with a wild card game against the 11-6 New York Jets. Taking a look at the stats, no leaders here belong to the Raiders. We had some pretty decent seasons, all things considered. Carson Palmer, very much online as a top 10 quarterback. 4,500 yards, 32 touchdowns, almost 1,400 yards, 15 touchdowns for McFadden. Exactly the kind of production you want to see. Marcel Reese got a little bit more involved. 8 touchdowns, 300 yards. Almost 1,200 yards, 12 touchdowns for Jacoby Ford. We'd love for him to get a dev trade, especially after that contract extension that we threw to him. 9-7 Murphy, 8-5 Schillings, 800 yards. Heyward-Bey, 4-4 for Marcel Reese. So, I mean, Marcel Reese almost got 1,000 yards of scrimmage, getting a lot more involved. But our pass rush was disgusting this season. 16 TFLs, 16 sacks, Richard Seymour. 22 TFLs, 15.5 sacks, Cam Wembley. 14 TFLs, 15.5 sacks, Lamar Houston. 21 TFLs, 10 sacks for our rookie, Bruce Irvin, who comes out as a star dev. Rolando McClain leads the team with 4 interceptions. Definitely going to continue to build up that secondary. Those numbers ain't great. Number 6 offense in the NFL. MVP goes to Joe Flacco. All right. Looking for our beloved Raiders. Bruce Irvin is Defensive Rookie of the Year. And that's it. But that's fine. Because we had, that's our first draft. We did good. We did great. And with that, can we kind of turn that into our first playoff victory? It'd be great to get at least that taste of postseason success. Absolutely not. We get shellacked by the Jets 35-20. I think they have Mark Sanchez as their quarterback. And again, what I just said, we got to get better in the secondary. If Mark Sanchez is going for 366 and 5 touchdowns, we're going all in. Corner first round, corner second round. As we close of the year, looking at dev traits. Darren McFadden went from star to superstar. Awesome. Jacoby Ford went from normal up into a star dev. Alfred Morris comes out as a star dev. That's actually big development going, what was it, 59 to a 68? Pretty goddamn good production and development out of him for our RB3. And on the defensive side of the ball, Bruce Irvin goes from star to superstar for winning Defensive Rookie of the Year. Cam Wembley goes from star to superstar. And Lamar Houston goes from star to superstar. That's a great year for development for this Raiders squad as we get for year 3. Free agents here, brutal. Trying to get Alteron Verter, 74 star dev corner. And of course he rejected. And the only other spot I was like, you know what? Maybe we go up to tight end. A nice big time improvement at that tight end spot. And I thought against it. Would hate to re-up on players we've already used, but have to go corner. We just have with the terrible secondary. And just so happens, Slay's the top corner available. Gotta get him. It'd be dumb not to. You can also go D-tackle. Tommy Kelly's getting up there in age a little bit. I'm going to go with one of my underrated kind of favorite Eagles of a minute ago. Benny Logan. Knew he wasn't going to be great. Kind of counteracting the Darius Slay pick. But hopefully he's a solid rotational D-tackle for us. A little draft recap here from the 2013 draft. Slay obviously being our best selection. Big time get. Benny Logan, 68. Not bad. Third round, we got Brandon Williams. No hidden dev. That's That's surprising considering wasn't he like a superstar in Madden like not too long ago. Decent nose tackle. We got Sio Moore. We got Jordan Poyer in the 5th round. He definitely has a hidden dev trait, so that's nice. Could get creative with him as well, moving maybe to his safety spot, which is where he's flourished in the NFL, as long as he's bringing his fat-assed wife. Oh, God, Rachel. We already know. We stand Rachel Bush. Bakari Rambo and Paul Warlord. First of all, everyone above is 60 overall, which is pretty dope. But clearly getting Slay to improve our secondary, that's S-tier. S-tier type get for the Raiders as we gear up for year 3. Here's a look at our team as we gear up for year 3. No real drastic changes outside of a lot of nice dev traits that we have. We also got to make sure we can kick. Why does this happen? Kick Mitchell Schwartz, who's our right tackle. And for some reason, our depth chart just isn't even there. But we'll make him our right tackle. Defensively, you know, we're going to have Slay on the outside. I'm going to actually put Poyer in the slot just to get him some reps. He's hidden dev, has a higher ceiling than pretty much all of those DBs. But we have all those brand new superstars that I'm excited to see. They just, because they all had double-digit sacks. Can they do it again? And this is also was a big turning point for the franchise of the Raiders, because this was also the year that they pulled the trigger on a quarterback out of Fresno State in the 2nd round. Now, I'm not saying right now at all, I have no indication, no desire to draft Derek Carr. But if he's there, I might have to pull the trigger. So take a look at our free agency period here in year 3. Fairly simple. We got Leckler, Seabass coming back on 1-year deals. A big 5-year extension with Darren McFadden. He's electrifying for our offense. We got Lamar Houston. Something I think we could do interesting with Lamar Houston is we get another traditional 4-3 pass rush. We can kick him in a D tackle. He'd be an absolute monster, and he could take over for Richard Seymour. So that's something to definitely think about. I'm bringing back a lot of speed in Darius, Heyward-Bey, and DeMarcus Van Dyke. Still holding out hope that these guys can get one dev trait and take their game to the next level. We're kind of plateauing here. I do think it comes down to, I mean, obviously looking at our team ranks there, but I do think it comes down to the quarterback. You can only go as far as you can with, like, you know, Carson Palmer at this point in time in his career. And I don't know if it's going to set itself up for us to go after a quarterback in this upcoming draft. We'll have to wait and see. Statistically, this year, we got some decent numbers. Look at that, Palmer just on the outside looking in for a top 10 quarterback. And, like, only so many teams, like, that is average. That is an average. He's not a bad season. It's not a liability. He's not costing us games, but he's not winning us games with those kind of stat lines. Big time performance out of our running backs. 15 and 15 for Darren McFadden. 10 touchdowns on almost 500 yards for Marcel Reese. 12 and 6 Jacoby Ford. 11 and 8 for Darius Heyward-Bey. 9 and 7 Lewis Murphy. Chaz Schillings also fairly decent. 126 tackles Rolando McClain. We got 12 sacks Lamar Houston. 11 and a half for Bruce Irvin, who I kind of just took a little sneak peek. He is now up to a superstar X Factor. We'll take that. Absolutely, we'll take that. Interceptions, 3 picks there for Slay, who obviously, because we have used him in a previous rebuild, is a superstar. That's a great get for our secondary and much improved our pass defense. One guy did that. Also shout out Jordan Poyer. MVP goes to Michael Vick. Quickly just burning through this, seeing if there is any Oakland Raiders. We didn't have any, but we did get an X Factor on the defensive side of the ball, and that is at least a small victory as we head into the offseason. It's another free agency where there's just, like, I tell you, man, I gotta just one of these days take a day off and, like, re-edit the starting roster here for the retro rebuilds, because there's just, like, good players that are, like, nerfed. I don't know where the ratings are, because it's just crippling free agency. 9 times out of 10, if you don't need a lineman or a fullback, there's nothing there. I was thinking against it. I was, like, literally looking at, like, the next couple draft classes as, like, who can we get for a quarterback? Can we hold off a couple years? Maybe get, like, Dak Prescott or something like that. But you know what? Screw it. Especially if he has a dev trait. This could be interesting. If he has normal dev, I'm going to hate it. If he has at least a star dev, could be kind of cool to see. Because I just feel like going back to Derek Carr, I think there's a lot of Raider fans right now. It's been shortcomings under Derek Carr. They'd be like, well, what if we got a different quarterback? Well, Teddy Bridgewater is a different quarterback. We're going to ignore the fact Aaron Donald's on the board because we just recently used him. I wouldn't draft him anyway. And we're going to go Teddy Bridgewater. Come on. Man, Teddy Bridgewater, you got to remember too. Teddy Bridgewater, before his last year at Louisville, he was regarded as, like, the consensus quarterback 1, and then he kind of slipped during his final year at Louisville. So let's see if we can become a franchise QB here in the NFL. All right, next up, we're kind of going to go BPA. I'm not worried about it was either I need a D tackle or a safety. Top safety is LaMarcus Jordan, who actually spent some time with the Raiders. But I'm still thinking off the top of my dome, like, maybe we can move Jordan Poyer to safety. Maybe that doubles up, but I know we desperately need D tackle and or a pass rusher so that we could kick Lamar Houston inside. So I just feel like either way, Stephon Tuitt, 6'5", 305, is a D tackle in a 4-3. Oh, I was hyping him up like he was going to be a cheesy pick. Normal dev. Brutal. I would have guessed Joyner is hidden dev. Should have went there. All right, so taking a look at our draft recap. Oh, the ratings not that great. Teddy Bridgewater, 66 hidden dev. So I don't even know if we can let him start year one. We might have to ease him in with Palmer still. But I do think Palmer's contract is up, so it could be a clean, you know, moving on process. Stephon Tuitt, 67. I wonder if he will shoot up when we move into D tackle. We got Terrence Brooks, 68. We got Martavis Bryant. That is hidden dev. That is such an Al Davis pick. Height, weight, speed, 6'4" with 93 speed. Thank you, computer. We got Aaron Lynch in the 5th round. I thought there was maybe a chance he had a dev trade. All right, I'll take that. My plan here in year 4, we'll go with Carson Palmer for the first. We're going to take the traditional approach. Carson Palmer for the first half. If things look shambolic, we will take the massive downgrade to throw Teddy Bridgewater to the Wolves and just, you know, make that transition. But even I don't try to make this super unrealistic. But, I mean, that is a huge discrepancy, and Palmer has been able to keep this team competitive. But the team's going nowhere this year. We will make that jump to Teddy Bridgewater. Other than that, things are the exact same, and hopefully we made the right call here at quarterback. If not, I mean, we still got plenty more drafts to try and hit that lottery of getting a franchise QB if Teddy's not the guy. Maybe, you know, if Terrell Pryor had a dev trade, I'd be a little more intrigued. But unfortunately for Terrell Pryor, he has the gray face glitch, so I didn't, you know, he lost his portrait. It makes it feel less immersive, so we're going with Teddy Bridgewater. So looking at free agency is kind of playing out as expected, at least in terms of contracts. We got Leckler, Rolando McClain, Sebastian Janikowski, Wisniewski got a 5-year deal, Aaron Curry on a 3-year, but it is contract time for Palmer, and obviously with the Teddy Bridgewater selection, we got to move on. However, our record is pretty good at the midway point. We are 5-2, so we're just going to let Palmer ride this one out, and unless it looks like we have no chance, we're currently first place in the AFC West, so you're not going to bench your quarterback. Teddy's gonna get the Aaron Rodgers treatment. Just get a redshirt season. Just so we'll pull this one back a little bit behind the scenes. I'm very disappointed we weren't the #1 seed. The Jags went 15-2. We went 14-3 after 3 years of 8-9 wins. Literally, like, I guess the pressure of bringing in Teddy Bridgewater made Carson Palmer play very good, but like just to be sure, like it wasn't like I was playing the games or forcing a game. We 14-3 out of the blue. Don't know what happened. We didn't really, outside of Teddy Bridgewater. And like looking at the big picture, it wasn't like we had one guy that absolutely went off. Carson Palmer wasn't anything special. Really, I'm kind of glad we got Teddy Bridgewater in the pipeline. And he's been developing nicely. I've been spending all my points into improviser, so it's been a little bit of a slow grind. But he's up to a 71 hidden dev. Only 21, so no issues there. I mean, McFadden, huge year, 1,500 yards, 18 touchdowns, 1,000 for Ford, 1,000 for the tight end Shillings, 9-8 Lewis Murphy, Heyward-Bey, a little bit of a disappointing season. Defensively, my God, Cameron Wimbley, 23 sacks, 15.5 Lamar Houston, 12.5 Bruce Irvin. Our pass rush is elite. Slay was very good. Lockdown, 76 tackles, 4 interceptions. The #3 overall offense. So we ran the ball and played good defense. Old school football. Hate seeing Derek Carr be the face of the best team in the AFC, though. That is, could have been anybody else, and I would have been happy. He wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. Looking for our beloved Raiders. It is holy shit. I mean, we know how good the Jags are, but god damn. All right, the Jags are absolutely terrifying. So let's see with our 14-3 record. Are we going to be able to at least get a playoff victory here against the Chiefs? Chiefs are a tough assignment any era in a Madden sim, and of fucking course we lose. All right, well, Teddy Bridgewater era, upcoming here in year 5. All right, so before we go to the draft, look at what we need. Center on the offensive side, defensively, D-tackle, sure. Pass rusher, and then we could kick Lamar Houston into D-tackle, sure. Free safety, maybe a corner, depending on who is there. We're very much in like a BPA here with the 24th pick of the 2015 NFL Draft. And what do we got? So we're looking at center. Cam Irving. He might be good, man. Cam Irving was supposed to be like S tier. Pass rusher, we got Mario Edwards Jr., who actually was a member of the Raiders. Or Preston Smith, Marcus Golden. Not really what we're looking for there. D-tackle, Malcolm Brown. Eddie Goldman. I could probably go with an Eddie Goldman. Don't know. I'm not overly confident that he's a dev trait, but it should be a pretty decent pick. Rest of these selections, you know, Wouldn't hate a Ronald Darby selection. I'm pretty sure he is. No, we'll go Eddie Goldman. Hopefully as a dev. If not, oh my god, those key ratings suck. Maybe I can't. Maybe we'll take a look at Darby. Maybe we'll look at another Florida State player. Plus, Darby seems like an Al Davis pick because he was very fast. Press man, not bad. We'll go Darby. Oh, no. God damn it. All right, we'll go pass rusher, Marcus Golden. Might have dev. He does. Cool. All right, so let's take a look at our draft recap. Kind of whiffed on the first round. Maybe Darby at least pulls a decent rating, which he does, 73. Marcus Golden is a 66 hidden dev. Don't know if that's going to be enough for us to kick Lamar Houston. It probably will, actually. Getting him on the field and then keeping Houston at D-tackle might be the best. Oh, the computer hook gets up third round. Adrian Amos at safety. That's what we're looking for. Replace that with Darby. We feel pretty good. We got Brashad Perriman, who has not Brashad Perriman speed. He had like 97 speed as a rookie. Even the computer knows what Al Davis would have done. And then the rest of the draft, we got guys without even pictures. So that kind of sucks. So here's how our team looks. Year 5, a.k.a. year 1 of the Teddy Bridgewater era. Not really too crazy outside of Teddy Bridgewater becoming our new starting quarterback. A little bit weak at center, but I think we'll be fine. Take a look at the defense. Shuffle this around a little bit. We're going to go Marcus Golden at left end. Kick Lamar Houston inside to D-tackle. We got X-Factor Bruce Irvin. Excited to see what that can do. Wembley, McClain, superstar. Amos will get the start at safety there. And absolutely 14-3 last year. Gonna expect some regression because that's a drop. What's it? 6, 7 overall points from Bridgewater and what we had last year with Carson Palmer. But, you know, 10 wins. Let's shoot for 10. Maybe wildcard team. So free agency, we spent a little bit of money. I got Chaz Schillings instead of a 4-year, which I don't really like, but I use a fun little project for us. I got him back on a 2-year deal. We got Schwartz on a 5-year, Janikowski on a 1. We gave Wembley 2, especially after he had 23 freaking sacks last season. Leckler on a 1-year deal, and I gave Marcel Reese. I don't know how, fullbacks regress, so I gave him a 5-year deal. I want him to try to see if I can get Marcel Reese to be here for the full rebuild. And then year 5, a little bit of regression. We're back to 8-9, which is kind of, really our first 3 years, which is good, knowing that, like, Teddy Bridgewater is at least, what we've been used to. Take a look at our stats here. Not bad, for where his level at. We know there's going to be some growth and development, but look at that, protecting the football. That's what Teddy was, man, when Teddy was a starter for the Minnesota Vikings. There was this big, like, maybe he's not going to be 40 touchdowns, but he can protect the football. So let's just see if we can keep these around 6 and get this up around 32, 33, 34. With our rushing attack, 1,300 yards, 15 touchdowns. McFadden, 13 touchdowns. Marcel Reese. I think we're going to be cooking with fire here. 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns. Jacoby Ford. Nice year out of Schillings. 900 yards. Darius Heyward-Bey. Defensively, Rolando McClain, who is up to an X factor, which is only a matter of time if you have like a really productive linebacker. But he had that's a huge year. 108 tackles, 3 picks, solid year. 14 sacks, Cam Wembley on fire. 10.5 for Bruce Irvin. 8.5 for Lamar Houston at his new spot at D-tackle. 7 picks for big play Slay. Taking a quick look at the award winners just to see if we have any Raiders. That would have been cool if we could have drafted Amari Cooper like the Raiders did in real life. Well, Slay's the best DB, so we'll take that as we go into the offseason ahead of year 6. So we're going to go in for this free agency period. Stephon Gilmore, I know we've used him in a rebuild so far, but I have $100 million. I got to start spending it somewhere. So Stephon Gilmore, Darius Slay, Jordan Poyer sounds like a disgusting secondary if we can happen. And I'm going to bring in Derek Wolfe because for whatever reason, our scheme for D-tackle is a speed rusher. So he's a slight upgrade over Stephon Tuitt, and he has the depth trait with some upside. And as what happens in free agency, you always miss out on the top guy. But we get, Derek Wolfe. That's fine on the D-line. So look at our team ahead of the draft. Needs corner. A corner with some upside. We could go outside linebackers. Both Wembley and Curry here are going to start slowing down a little bit. Offensively, we could look at center. We could look at a game changer at tight end. Or if maybe BPA is a wide receiver, I could be pressed to get maybe a star for Teddy Bridgewater that one here. So we're picking at pick 15 in the 2016 draft. Let's see what we got. There should be a decent amount of players here. Carl Joseph, actually, I think, was the pick in the first round for Vegas this year. So at wide receiver, we have Corey Coleman and Laquan Treadwell. Tyreek Hill is obviously that is kind of botched, but like, is that not the most Al Davis pick? Like, we've done a lot of picks and been like, that's Al Davis. Tight end, we got Hunter Henry. That actually is a solid option. At center, Ryan Kelly, which is also another solid option. Outside linebacker, not so much. Man, I think now's the time, just for shits and giggles. That is the most Al Davis selection of all time. Character issues, but he's super fast. Let's go, man. Let's go. Come back with the top center. Actually, Nick Martin looks solid, the ratings. I don't know if he has a dev trade or not, but should be better than our, like, 65 overall previous starting center. So, taking a look at our draft recap. Also needs to be known, because we went, holy shit. All right, some of these guys I'm going to nerf down. Like, I'll tell you right now, I'm shaving off 10 of everyone not named Tyreek Hill, just to be completely fair. And obviously, in the second round, we had a chance to get Cody Whitehair, who I'm pretty sure would have a dev trade and has played center. But because we go Tyreek Hill, who wasn't a first-round pick, even though in this draft he was, yeah. But yeah, because even if I modified it, it would still show up as an 81 overall right now in this screen. Nick Martin, act as is. He's a 71. We got Sean Coleman, 67. Wes Schweitzer with a 64. We got Joe Schobert. Does he have hidden dev? He does. It's a nice little gift for the outside linebacker. Thank you, computer. I appreciate it. So taking a look at our free agents, we got Bruce Irvin, our X-Factor pass rusher. We got him locked down for a 3-year deal. Tyvon Branch, wasn't a fan of the 4 years, but I said, you know, screw it. His regression shouldn't be too bad. We got the old men on special teams back on 1-year deals. Figure with the Tyreek Hill selection, we could probably save a little bit of money here on Jacoby Ford, who's only going to regress. Got Jordan Poyer on a 5-year deal. We're going to let Lewis Murphy walk. So kind of a change into the guard at wide receiver for us, but Tyreek Hill, we got Martavis Bryant, who's yet to have a chance. We got plenty of guys that could step up, I think, going forward in this rebuild. End of the year 6, still putting it together. Look at that, top 10 passing offense. I'm sure some of that happens to be due down to the fact that we brought in an absolute baller in Tyreek Hill. But let's take a gander. Not bad at a Teddy. Top 10 season in both yards and tutties. 33 touchdowns, and his interceptions are still single digits. I'm a little excited. I'm a huge year to Darren McFadden. 1,300 yards, 22 touchdowns. 5 touchdowns there, Marcel Reese. 9-7 Ford, 9-6 Schillens, 9-7 Heyward-Bey. I will say Tyreek Hill was kind of buried on the depth chart this year. So you obviously going to have to step up next season. What's his dev? Let's get a very quick look here. Tyreek Hill, it's superstar. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Defensively, bunch of tackles. Rolando, McClain. We have 13 sacks. Lamar Houston, 12.5. Cam Wembley, 8.5 for Bruce Irvin. 2 picks for Slade down from what? He had 7 a year ago. Very quick look at the yearly award winners. MVP. Should I have just drafted Derek Carr and Devontae Adams right away, and then like that could have been the story here? God damn, Derek Carr absolutely crushing it here this season. No award winners for the Raiders, but you know what? Don't let that take away from the fact that Teddy Bridgewater had a terrific year. I'm excited to see how we can close this rebuild out. We're going to go after a big fish here in free agency. That is at the tight end position. Jermichael Finley, 90-star. He is 30, so that 4-year contract, it's a tough sell. But maybe, just maybe, we can get a little bit more than Chaz Schillings, and that could help take this offense to another level, another gear. And finally, we get a free agency sign. It's always like when you get a good guy, not at an S-tier position of need, they sign. Heaven forbid we can land a corner or a pass rusher. But welcome to the club, 90 overall, Jermichael Finley. So doing a little bit of strategy, I actually passed on picking out Teddy Bridgewater's 5th-year option, because if he balls out this year, you know, I kind of want to bet again. I think the contract will be cheaper if I give him a long-term extension this season versus picking him a 5th-year option. If he balls out, if he goes up dev or something crazy like that, it could be, you know, this could be the difference between signing to like a $60, $70 million deal or like a $150 million deal. So hopefully this gamble pays out, because then, you know, if he's still looking for that amount of money here this year, it's going to be annoying that we didn't get that 5th-year rookie option, which is really the most valuable position for the 5th-year option is the quarterback spot. Dude, I was like literally just looking like, oh, where are we gonna go for that? Teddy went up to superstar? I mean, it doesn't really change the, you know, the re-signing. He's, you know, he's still 81. Ah, man, I should have probably picked that 5th-year option up. Looking for the draft. I think our offense is pretty good. Defensively, could still look for that, you know, that true D tackle. Houston's up to an X factor. I should have looked at this. We need a corner. We need a corner, outside linebacker / edge, D tackle, somewhere in that range. We pick 16th in the 2017 draft. Let's take a look. We're going to be focusing on the defensive side. So corner, We have okay, we got Marlon Humphrey. That's a terrific corner to be dealing with. Looking for a pass rusher. TJ Watt. Hassan Riddick. Charles Harris. That's an easy pass. Or Derek Barnett. I still think, you know, it's all about weighing. You don't want to cheat yourself. You don't want to make a rebuild too overpowered because obviously we have hindsight for a lot of these picks. So I feel like because we got Tyreek last year, I won't go with the S tier pick, which would be TJ Watt at pass rush. But we still definitely need a corner, and there's no way in hell Marlon Humphrey is not at least a baller selection. So there we go with our first round pick. And we'll grab a D tackle, a chance at a hidden def. I'm not sure. He's a great player, underrated D tackle. Larry Ogunjobi. Ah, he's a normal. Damn it. So here's a look at our draft recap. First round, we got Marlon Humphrey, 77 hidden dev. That is phenomenal. Him, I can only just imagine. Him and Darius Slay on the same secondary is very good. Ogunjobi, 68 normal. We got Terrell Basham, 72. Yeah, the computer didn't really hook us up here today, but we will take a star player like Marlon Humphrey. Here's 7. Here's how our squad is looking up with our new superstar quarterback in Teddy Bridgewater. He's looking at McFadden, 99, Claude Marcel Reese, Tyreek Hill, 81 superstar, Darius Heyward-Bey, Martavis Bryant, still in the mold of Al Davis. Elite speed. Offensive line remains the same. We bring in Jermichael Finley from free agency. Defensively, Golden Wolf, X Factor Houston, X Factor Irvin, linebacker core of Wembley, Curry, and Rolando McClain. Amos Branch went up to superstar dev. That would have been last offseason. He get up there in age, so that's good. At least even in the event that it helps his regression a little bit. We're going to go Humphrey and Slay on the outside with Jordan Poyer in the slot. 8-9 last season. I'm expecting 10 wins minimum this year. So looking at our free agents this year, it actually worked out our 5th-year option with Teddy Bridgewater. You'll see in just a sec. We got Slay on a 5-year, Lamar Houston on a 3-year, Bruce Campbell, Cameron Windley, Shane Leckler, and Sebastian Janikowski all on short-term deals. But as you see with Teddy, gambling on that superstar, got him on a 4-year, $75 million deal. So that's going to, you know, give us a whole lot of salary cap. And last I checked, I'm at midseason, he was in the top 3 for passers this year. So that is a very valuable contract. So sometimes it is worth not to just automatically pick up that that option right away. I think we'll be intrigued here for our D tackles. I might grab one of the two. Not sure which one. Two, it has more upside. Wolf has the dev. I also think I will re-sign Martavis Bryant. Just because of Al Davis, in memory of him. Then year 7 to make the playoffs and win our 2nd divisional title. 10-7. Have the tiebreaker. We'll get to find out right away who the better team is between the Raiders and the Chiefs. Looking at the big picture, not seeing any of our guys, but that's fine. Because what if they're also top 5? That's still pretty good. Teddy Bridgewater, 12th in yards, almost top 5 in touchdowns. I'll absolutely take that. Interceptions up a little bit, by 35 touchdowns on 4,600 yards is awesome. The combination with McFadden and getting vultured by Reese, we'll take that. They're a tandem. It's working. 1,000 yards for Tyreek Hill, 1,000 yards for Heyward-Bey, almost 1,012 touchdowns for Finley, so I'm happy that we're able to bring him in. Defensively, Rolando McClain led the team in tackles, 9 sacks for Wembley, 3 picks, Jordan Poyer. So, like, our sacks and interceptions have been incredibly inconsistent, but we do have the #1 offense in the NFL. MVP, okay, we're just going to ignore that. Of course it would happen in this fucking rebuild, right? Like, he never does that. And then as soon as we like, hey, maybe we'll go with, something different right at this pivotal point, he's absolutely unstoppable. That is, of course, Derek Carr. Well, let's see if we can get our first playoff victory. Made the playoffs 2 previous times, 0-1, one and done in both those years. There's a matchup between the 88 overall Raiders, 88 overall Kansas City Chiefs, and for fuck's sakes, can we buy a playoff win? We're going to throw a little money around here in free agency. We're going to try to get Jarvis Landry, put him in the slot, have Brian and Tyreek on the outside. Sounds good. And outside linebacker market's pretty weak, so we'll see if we can bring back Aaron Curry on a 1-year deal, but it could very well, outside linebacker, be a position we look to upgrade during the draft. Holy shit, we got Jarvis Landry. Okay, that's a win. All right, for this draft, we're looking D tackle or outside linebacker. I will straight up take a bust. Those are the 2 positions we need. So for D tackle, we got no DNs that can be classified as a D tackle. So we have, that'll do. Outside linebacker, we have Darius. That would also do. Gotta do it. Just gotta do it. Just gotta do it, man. Adding depth at D tackle the second row, we'll actually get a pick of the Raiders, and that is PJ Hall comes in with a hidden dev too. This is the draft class that has all the messed up ratings, so I will correct those after the draft has completed. So look at our draft recap. After the selections of Darius Leonard, who's a 70 hidden dev, PJ Hall, who's 62 hidden dev. Again, these ratings could shift just a little bit once we correct the stats. We got Royce Freeman, Troy Apke, White Lightning. Not much. Does Freeman have a dev? He does not. He's just no. But this draft, I'm happy with it. First 2 picks, one of them fall in line with an actual Raider selection from the 2018 draft. It's a good start, man. Welcome the Maniac to Oakland. Our free agents, fairly simple. We're keeping the old men together as long as they want to be here. We got Marcus Golden. I gave him a 5-year deal. I think he's a good rotational pass rusher. I think we're going to move on from Wembley. You know, I had some outstanding seasons, but it's at that point in time. We got Amos Velda here and Run DMC locked up for the remainder of the rebuild. A massive year 8 as we go 13-4, win our 2nd straight AFC West title. Look at the rankings. Number 1 rushing defense, number 2 overall defense, top 10 offense. Doesn't get much better than that. Looking at the big picture, not really seeing any of our guys there, but that's fine again. Because, you know, again, if we're just top 10 in a lot of stats, that's fine. Teddy Bridgewater, good year, 4,600 yards, 33 touchdowns, 12 touchdowns there. McFadden, 1,300 yards for Tyreek Hill. Let's go. 1,010 there for Jermichael Finley. Not much for Juice Landry. 128 tackles, Rolando McClain. Sacks are down a little bit. Need that premier pass rusher. Still kind of missing that. But overall, man, anytime you go 13-4, anytime you're the 1 seed, first round bye, we're still looking for our first playoff victory of this rebuild. We are absolutely due. Why not here in year 8? You know, it's been a little bit of a drought. We have the 9. Okay, if we don't get this, I think this team's just cursed and we're never going to win. But we do. 38-21. The Raiders finally taste playoff victory, and we're another win away against the Buffalo Bills from appearing in the Super Bowl. 2 touchdowns, no picks against Lamar Jackson and the Colts. We got 3 touchdowns from our juggernaut. Love seeing that. Huge game from Tyreek Hill as well. Now, the Bills are the 2 seed, so this should be a competitive game. They're at 89 overall. We know how good they can get. We've already done a retro rebuild of the Bills. They must have found themselves a quarterback, and we're able to knock them off 30-28. We get 2 playoff victories, and just like that, we set up a Super Bowl matchup against the New York Giants. Hopefully, this Super Bowl does not crash. You know what? We probably should just sim it, just in case. I'm going to do that. Anytime we go in, play the moments, things get glitchy. Ideally, you get that walk-off Super Bowl so we can kind of hop in and see it, but let's just go right now, man. Keep it live. Can we get our first Super Bowl victory without crashing? Yes! I owe you guys, if you're a Raider fan, the ceremony by sitting there playing the moments. But with these 2 valuable years, we got to think smart. We've had too many of these videos ends with a crash and a glitch, and for me, it seems to be tied to the Super Bowl. So we'll take this Super Bowl victory in year 8, 31-21 with Super Bowl MVP Teddy Bridgewater as the Raiders win their 4th ever Super Bowl. And we're going to build off of that for the remaining 2 years of this rebuild. Let's go. There's literally no weakness on this team. You know, maybe there's a great freaky pass rusher that we can like get a nice cheese pick. Other than that, I mean, Darius Leonard, superstar. Strong safety because Tyvon Branch is regressing a little bit. Strong safety, pass rusher, running back 2. You know, where you're grasping at straws. This team is very good. So let's go take a look at the draft here. And we'll see, you know, running back 2, safety, pass rusher. Really the only 3 spots I think we could even consider at this point. Just drafting our team. So running back, we have Miles Sanders. Okay, I could pull the trigger on Miles Sanders. Looking at pass rusher, LJ Collier, Zimenez. Ooh. If there's ever going to be a time to reach for somebody, I'm going to get... Oh, they robbed him! That ends up being a bad pick. What? No dev trade for Max Crosby? I had to do it for the Raider fans, but come on. I just straight up after I got that one, I just simmed it out and look at what the computer picked. Scary Terry. Sure. I'll take that. Easton Stick, Weska. I mean, the rest of the picks weren't really that juicy, but I mean, after the disrespect of Max Crosby coming out as a 66 normal, I had it with this draft class. And the computer said, you know what? We feel bad about that. Here's Scary Terry. Throw him to the mix. See if he's better than Martavis Bryant. For our final in-house free agency period, guys that we want for the full rebuild, we got Rolando, McClain, Wisniewski, Bruce Irvin, Nick Martin, all locked up. You know what? They threw us McAfee. That must mean the great, how do we overlook it? The great Shane Leckler would have retired as well. We have Jake Elliott at kicker, so that means the old man decided to walk off into the sunset together. So we'll bring them both back. Man, Jake Elliott got a face scan? God damn. And we'll bring back Joe Schobert. We're also at the midway point. Just sitting straight up to the midway point. Undefeated. 6-0 to start our season defending our Super Bowl title. Holy shit. We went 16-1. That is easily the best record I've posted, maybe, like in a franchise ever. Who beat us? We lost to the Giants in the Super Bowl rematch. 16-1. Oh, if we would have got the undefeated season, I would have probably woke my daughter up. Take a look at the stats. How did we get to this point as we look to just run it back? Teddy Bridgewater, top 5 quarterback, 37 touchdowns, 4,600 yards, 15 tutties, 1,200 yards. Darren McFadden, 11-12. Jarvis Landry, 1,006. Martavis Bryant, Finley. I don't like Tyreek, kind of being the odd man out there. Defensively, Rolando McClain, 123 tackles, 5 interceptions, 16 sacks. Bruce Irvin, 10-10 for Golden and Houston. I mean, all those numbers are really good, man. 16-1. MVP went to Patrick Mahomes. Teddy Bridgewater coming in at number 5. Just burning through to see if we have any Raiders. Velda here, because best lineman on the best team usually gets lineman of the year. But 16-1, an astonishing year here in year 9 for the Raiders. Can we follow it up with a back-to-back Super Bowl? Get a little bit of a dynasty here. Maybe roll off, 2 Super Bowls to win. And with first round, we get to take on Derek Carr and the 9-8 Jacksonville Jaguars. Motherfucker! For this draft, I still can't believe 16-1. And we lose our, what are we, the Dallas Cowboys? We need D-tackle. I'm going top D-tackle available, be it an actual D-tackle, which is Rashard Lawrence, or a DN that could just slide into D-tackle, like a Marlon Davidson. Or Matabuke. Nah, we'll go Marlon Davidson. I think he had a hidden dev as a rookie. I don't know if that will line up with this. Damn. All right, we'll just sim the rest of this draft out. Okay, so after the Marlon Davidson selection, didn't get a whole lot here. Ashton Davis, 72 in the 4th round. That's pretty good value, all things considered, but really an unspectacular draft class overall. So here we are, year 10. This is our final team for our retro rebuild of the Oakland Vegas Raiders, whatever you want to call it. We got Teddy Bridgewater, 93 superstar, McFadden, Run DMC doing the damn thing with Marcel Reese this whole rebuild. Tyreek Hill, Jarvis Landry, Martavis Bryant, and a sneaky Scary Terry. I mean, we're going to probably use Scary Terry at some point in these rebuilds as a feature wide receiver, but because it was a computer pick, if he's there. He's there, but he's not going to be our guy right now. Finley, Schwartz, Wisniewski's done the whole rebuild, as well as that left-hand side Veld here, and Bruce Campbell have done the entire rebuild. Still a very good offensive line. Defensively, Golden, Tuitt, Lamar Houston, and Bruce Irvin on the D-line. Schobert, Rolando McClain, who, much like Lamar Houston, has done the full rebuild. The Maniac Darius Leonard. We have Tyvon Branch, who's done the whole rebuild. Amos, Big Play Slay, Marlon Humphrey. Man, Humphrey's only a star dev. And Jordan Poyer. I mean, there's literally no weakness on this team. We went 16-1 last year. I'm saying at least 12 wins, maybe a first-round bye here in year 10. And in year 10, we go 11-6. We get our 4th straight divisional title, our 5th overall, which is really, really good. Take a look at our stats very quickly. I mean, you know what? For what it's worth, Teddy Bridgewater has never been S tier, but he's been pretty good. I mean, that's still not a bad year. Better than what we're getting way back with Carson Palmer. 4,600 yards, 32 touchdowns. Big year for Run DMC, 1,300 yards, almost 14 with 17 touchdowns. 11-6 Landry, 11-6 for Tyreek, 11 touchdowns. Jermichael Finley, 135 tackles, 2 picks. Rolando McClain, 13 sacks. Bruce Irvin, 12 from Lamar Houston, 4 picks for Darius Slay. A top 10 offense here for the Raiders. MVP goes to Mahomes. Okay, we're just going to ignore Derek Carr there. No award winners, but before we go on this run, let's take a look here at some of our players' stats and what they've been able to achieve. 27,000 yards passing, 198 touchdowns for Teddy Bridgewater. That's good. He did better than I thought he was going to be. 13,000 yards for Darren McFadden, 147 touchdowns, 78 touchdowns for Marcel Reese, one of the greatest fullbacks in the modern era. Tyreek Hill, 4,700 yards, 28 touchdowns in his 4 years with us. Really haven't had much else in terms of longevity. We lost a lot of those guys. Tyvon Branch and Rolando McClain, both over 1,000 tackles. 110 sacks, Lamar Houston. 97 for Bruce Irvin. And we got 23 picks for Rolando McClain. 22 picks for Darius Slay. 18 for Branch. And 10 for Jordan Poyer. I'll tell you right now, even though we got our Super Bowl, I feel a little, we got that win. It's not going to go down. But if we go 0-1 again, man, that would be 4 straight years, or 4 total years in this goddamn rebuild that we went one and done. Luckily, we get a big victory, 35-14 over the Baltimore Ravens. Now we're in the divisional round against the Patriots, and what should be a, you know, a winnable game for us, all things considered, and we do! 41-21. I mean, when you start putting up points like that, what happened there? Did Teddy go off? Teddy went off. 4 touchdowns, out-dueling Kirk Cousins and the New England Patriots, setting up a championship matchup against the 13-4 Pittsburgh Steelers. Can we make our second Super Bowl appearance of this rebuild go out on top? And we beat the Steelers 35-20, setting up a perfect walk-off. I don't care if it crashes Super Bowl matchup against the Dallas Cowgirls. So they got Mahomes at quarterback. Other than that, though, I think we got the advantage. They have the advantage in, like, freaky sim quarterback play. We have the advantage in just about every other department. If we can get a walk-off victory as we get the first score of this game, Dallas ties this one up. Oh, that looked like a turnover. One thing we can usually kind of count on Teddy Bridgewater is protecting the football. But we got ourselves in quite a hole. Need a touchdown here before halftime. We get it to cut the lead to 10. Just looks like our defense is just getting overwhelmed by Patrick Mahomes here in this Super Bowl. We need the touchdown. We settle for a field goal. That's not going to do anything. We settle for the field goal. Dallas goes down the field, gets the touchdown. We got a chance. We get a defensive stop here, which we God damn it, man. We made it close. We had a chance, just needed one defensive stop, and our second Super Bowl appearance kind of comes crashing down. But overall, a very, very good rebuild. And I'm incredibly happy with how things worked out by going the Teddy Bridgewater approach versus saying, you know, going Derek Carr and maybe trying to get Devontae Adams in that year. This worked out very well because you end up with the Super Bowl, and that is the end goal. So that will do it for me today, guys. I hope you did enjoy a new episode of the Retro Rebuilds. As always, for me, for my knowledge, and for the YouTube algorithm, make sure you hit that like button if you're enjoying the series. Leave a comment in the comment section below about anything, and if you want to suggest a team you want to see next in the Retro Rebuilds, that is the best spot to let me know. But that'll do it for me today, guys. If it's your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you back here on the next one. Thanks so much. Love ya, and peace out.